Getting older.
Hey guys, FXG here to try and help you a little bit with your lineups. In the final week of the NFL, week 17, it kind of sucks that it's ending. Seems like it went by so fast. Last week was not a very good week with the way Lockett and Brake both got injured very early. Can't do much about that. It's very unfortunate. Now on to this week. Well, it was last week's points was 134, just in case anybody's known. Very terrible. But now let's go on to the picks. My stack, it's going to be Aaron Rodgers and Devontae Adams. And then on running backs, Blunt and Rawls. Where is he at? It's right there. Now first, I really like the Aaron Rodgers and Devontae Adams stack instead of Jordy Nelson. Jordy Nelson is just so expensive, and it's hard to get in these other players that I really like. So I'm just gonna go with Devontae Adams this time. I mean, I really do think he's going to get quite a bit of yards and a touchdown. I think he could even easily do better than Jordy Nelson, just because they're going to try to lock Jordy Nelson down for sure. And the running backs, Blunt, I'm a really big Miami fan, so I'm not even being biased here. I can't be biased with, I really don't like New England at all. And Miami just can't stop Blunt. But hopefully it's not going to end up being Lewis that gets the chunky yards. I think they're going to let Blunt and get a lot of the attempts again, because he completely murdered Miami, as you can see. If he can put this up again, that would be amazing. I think he could easily put up more, because I really don't trust Miami's defensive backs still, even as being they are my favorite team. I rooted for them all my life. But Maxwell's going to be injured, and who was it? Maxwell and the free safety. I don't know how to say his last name. It's really strange. He hadn't been on the team that long. And the safeties on Miami really help with the tackling. So technically that's really both first string safeties are out. Not to mention the right outside linebacker Jenkins. He's out as well. Kiko Alonso. He's pretty good, but he's still got that a big ass cast on his hand. The left outside linebacker is Misi. That's all he's really good at, is stopping the run a little bit, but he's just average. It's just like they got past Sue last time. They're probably going to be able to do it again. So that should be good. And Rawls, really don't have to say much about San Francisco whatsoever. They're just so terrible. You just usually want to start anybody that's going against them. And to my other wide receivers is going to be Michael Thomas and Golden Tate. Both of them potential shootout games. New Orleans, they just want they always want to beat Atlanta. Them division games like that going into a dome. Michael Thomas is going to get an incredible amount of targets. So he's going to catch probably all of them, if not maybe one or two drops or so, or something like that. Tate, I just like him better than Jones. Jones has not been very well recently, even though he did destroy Green Bay previously. But Golden Tate has got to be the guy. Tight end, one of the best. Kelsey, he's crazy at what he does. He did this even though the night before they had pictures of him getting drunk like crazy with like a bottle of vodka or something in his hand or whatever. So maybe he was probably even hungover when he done this, for all we know. That could be a possibility. That's pretty crazy. And defense, I'll do flex last. Patriots, I hate that I have to do this because I'm a huge Miami fan, but Patriots are probably going to be winning the Super Bowl unless the Giants or the Falcons can take them out, because that's who I think will end up be playing them. And then for the flex, it's going to be somebody extremely cheap. For a starter, I think it's very cheap. Unless I'm wrong about something of him not being a starter. But I don't think I am. Devontae Booker. They don't say anything about him not being a starter right here, and they're talking about how Oakland is horrific against the D. Denver has nothing to really play for, really. Nothing at all, unless they just want to win to win. But I don't think they will. They'll probably just going to be testing players, and Booker will probably be getting quite a few handoffs and receptions. But if you don't want to go with Booker, I could understand. You could easily want to go with Charles Clay again. I love doing the double tight ends. A lot of people don't do it, and it's what's won me money. Just like the week before last, 4th place, $350 win. That was great because of the double tight end. It wasn't Kelsey, it was Clay and Ertz, I think, maybe. But if I was going to, I have been slightly biased in another flex. Kenyon Drake. I feel like he could possibly get double-digit attempts, because I don't see why Miami wouldn't rest Ajayi a little bit, because he had to be taken out a couple times, like twice in the game, because of his shoulder. They really need to let him rest. I mean, if they want to give him like 10 or 15 runs or something in the beginning, and then put Kenyon Drake in the second half or something, I think would be amazing and smart. So, I mean, very possibility. But there is also Damian Williams, who's another guy they put in there. But he's pretty expensive, and we already know what he can do. They very rarely give him the ball. They always just pass it to him. So that's why I feel like it would be Kenyon Drake. But my number one choice is Booker, just because he's a starter, and Denver does like to run the ball, but they've been forced to pass these last few weeks because they had to win in order to get in the playoffs, but now they don't. So it's sounds logical, so hopefully it will be. And if somebody does decide to do that, like put in these lower people, and they want to try to get a higher running back, my most chalkiest player out of all these players, if I could pick one, is Devontae Freeman. I'm not really entering the big tournament much, where you can enter like 150 times or whatever. I'm trying to do this where you enter $4 in some of them, and you can enter 3 times and then enter all 3 times. Like I like that one. So I've won hundreds and hundreds of dollars that way, without having to get the most luckiest lineup, and just trying to win it all is so hard unless you have a pay for one of the programs or something. And even then, it doesn't guarantee nothing. But if you're going to listen to one podcast or another video on YouTube, is the Fantasy Lab people. They're amazing. Peter Jennings, he's awesome. I'm not a sponsor whatsoever, I'm not affiliated with them in any way. They're just really awesome at what they do. Fantasy Labs, you might want to check them out. And that's going to be it for me this week. I'll be doing the playoffs. Good luck.
Getting older.